Hey, teenagers, young people, thank you for coming back again and again. I believe that these videos, these episodes are a blessing. Make sure you subscribe. I'm not trying to get as many subscribers as possible. No, that's not the whole place. These days, I see something happening on Instagram, right? If you someone who really loves it, put a love, and they're trying to get as many likes as possible. You see this, get the like and all of that. No, we're not trying to do that. But if it's a blessing, subscribe so that you can get to know when we post out certain episodes. I've been sharing about disagreements and social relationships and all of that. And on the similar line, I'm going to share something very, very important today. Very, very important today. Now, why I'm saying this is very important is because it's a very personal space that you have to understand this. There is nothing called 100% surety on what I'm going to do or how I'm going to do it. There's nothing called 100% surety. You will make mistakes. In fact, I would change that statement and I'd say, I will encourage you to make mistakes. George Uncle, what are you saying? Encourage me to make mistakes? Oh my goodness. Unless you make mistakes, you will never learn. Unless you make mistakes, you will never learn. If you are someone who's not made any mistakes or not made many mistakes and you're saying, I'm a very good guy, I'm so sorry. I'll tell you something very straight. You're a guy who has no backbone. You're a weak person. Why? You're not wanting to come out of your comfort zone. You're playing it very safe. How long are you going to play in very safe? How long are you going to play it very safe? You're going to come to that place of mediocrity. You want to be very careful not to get to that place of mediocrity. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. I'm not saying you should look for mistakes and you should make mistakes. No. In your journey of how you're trying to do things really well, in your journey of how you're trying to do things really the best, in your journey of how you're giving your everything, don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you need to look for mistakes and make mistakes. No. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. There is nobody in this world who has succeeded without making mistakes. You know of all the different stories of all the inventors and how many times they have failed and how many times they have made mistakes and all of that. Let's not go to that level. Let's keep it to the reality of you being a young person, a teenager, me speaking to a teenager, a young person. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. What happens when you make mistakes? Learn from it. How would you correct it? Or how would you change it? Or how would you not make that mistake next time in a similar situation? Learn from it. But don't be afraid to make mistakes. I will encourage you not to be afraid to make mistakes. Why? If you are not afraid to make mistakes and you're bold, you are the one who will learn, who will move out of the comfort zone, and you will conquer much in this world. You will conquer much in this world. You will do greater things. You will do greater things. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. There's nothing called 100% surety. Sometimes young people have asked me this question. You're so confident when you're sharing about your vision and all of that and what God has laid on your heart to help a lot of children and young people and teenagers with abused backgrounds. You're so confident. I would always say this. When I'm in my public front, I'm very confident. But it's okay when I'm in my private pillow having some of those doubts. Sometimes some young people say, having that doubt, I feel very guilty. It's okay to have those doubts. It's okay. In the public platform, we are very bold. But in our private space, lying on a pillow, we are having certain doubts. That's okay. That's the tension that needs to be there in every life. That's the balance that needs to be there. It's okay. Because I've not got everything right. No. I will still have my doubts when I'm lying on my pillow. That's okay for me to have those doubts. Sometimes many of the young people feel so guilty for having those doubts. Don't be afraid to have those doubts. When you are in front of people or when you are in that social places, be confident on your convictions. Be confident on who you are and what you want to do. Be confidently moving on. But when you cut to that private space, it's okay. Sometimes you have those doubts. Not all the time, but sometimes you have those doubts and you wonder why and what. That's okay. I would always say this to young people, you're down for that night. That's okay. You are crying for that night. That's okay. But when you wake up in the morning, wake up strong. When you wake up in the morning, get up very strong. That's the struggle with every one of us. That's the struggle. I read this beautiful incident about Winston Churchill. If you have heard Winston Churchill speak, man, he was a fiery speaker who was very, very strong in the way he commanded the troops and the way he shared. But many a times in this little episode that he had, that he was so tired after he had talked and he would gone back, and then he writes in his journal, for the last 2 weeks I have contemplated suicide so many times. So many times. Because I'm still wondering, what in the world am I doing? How am I doing it? See, sometimes you might have it. I'm not saying contemplating suicide is actually good. No, I'm not saying that. But sometimes you might feel a little down. That's okay. You might be feeling a little low. That's okay. But get yourself. There is no one like you. You are very precious, and there is something over your life. There is a purpose over your life. Walk on that purpose. Just where you are, where God has put you, be faithful in that place. So it's okay not to be 100% sure about everything. It's okay. But be bold, be strong, be courageous. Lovely talking to you. Keep going forward.